Hello and welcome to this week's. Did you guys see that fairy fly past? I didn't even get to finish my sentence. Welcome to this week's Hidden Soul astrology message. So, this week, Spirit was giving me guidance on 3 different signs in particular. So, it would be great if you guys want to look these up in your chart. And if you want to talk about it more in depth, the girls and I at Maison Jupiter are more than happy to help. These 3 signs that I've picked, each one has a different message for you. So really tuning in today to see where your heart especially is guided, where you feel that more your upper chakras are guided. So let's begin by taking a few deep centered breaths in, and I can't wait to share these messages with you all. So just taking a few deep breaths in when you're closing your eyes. Inhaling all the way in, letting go, relaxing, releasing, exhaling. Breathing all the way in, feeling your soul come back into the body, feeling centered and aligned. Exhaling, letting go of anything that no longer resonates, anything you no longer need. One more inhale. And when you're opening your eyes, just having a look into the cards that I've got. So we have card pile number 1 here, number 2, and number 3. So just coming to the first pile that is speaking to your soul, and I'll give you guys a moment to choose. All right, so let's begin with pile number 1. And we do have crystals with them as well. So I will go through each of these. And I'll just pop these aside. So the first pile that we have, pile number 1, we have this beautiful, it's more of like a lilac or light pale amethyst druzy quartz. So this is also known as spirit quartz. So this is a really good one for connecting in to higher realms, to more kind of like ethereal energy. For me, the reason that I picked this is behind the astrology sign, and we will see this when I lift this card. I've drawn my own little hand-drawn signs because I really wanted to infuse magic and intention into this 3-card pick today. So the first sign that we have is the sign of Venus. So if this is the card pile that you picked with the Venus sign, I want you to have a look at this in your chart, perhaps after we've talked about this, or you might want to pause this if you're watching the replay. Check where Venus is in your zodiac sign, in your 12-wheel zodiac astrology reading. And with this, Venus is more kind of the planet of romance, of love, of money, of beauty, of art. It also speaks about the way that we express our desires, our passions, what it is that we value, how we relate, and how we experience pleasure. So it also is about how we socialize, how we relate to others, and it's also about how we attract too. So I want you to have a look at what sign you have Venus in. For myself, and actually for Sophie too, we both have Venus in Cancer. So this is more sort of like a soft, watery energy, very gentle, very nurturing. I'd love to hear in the comments what sign you have Venus in. I would love to read this after and check back in. That'd be fun. So yeah, with this, we are going with the sign Venus, and the first card that we have. So this is more you guys leaning into this. So I have done another show, and it was on magnetizing, how to magnetize, and that was on my channel, but it spoke specifically around your Venus sign too. So if that's something you're interested in, that'd be a good one to check out, because we dress for each of the Venus signs. So there's a particular style, fashion, clothing kind of vibe that goes with each of the Venus signs. So the first card that we have is from the Mary Magdalene deck, and it is I Am the Grail. Hold on to your power. So when we're looking at this in regards to Venus energy, it might be looking at like where you're letting go of energy, where you're nurturing or giving too much, where you're actually not giving to yourself first. So with this beautiful one, I Am the Grail, this is about tapping in and finding your magic. It's about finding that power, that source of, if we're looking at Venus, it is more of a feminine sign. So where is that divine inner art and beauty and mystery and feminine energy within? So each masculine and feminine archetype has both within them. So even me, being female, has masculine energy in certain areas. You might want to look more to your Mars energy if you're looking for that. But yeah, hold on to your power. So the next card that we have is from one of the animal spirit decks. And it is, and I just realized we actually have two. This is unusual. So we've got lizard spirit, dream the world into being. So this is really telling us to get more tapped into that creativity, to channel this Venus energy, to look at how we flow that art, that magic, that mystery, that music out into the world. It's really to run that through your chakras and to be channeling that Kundalini energy. And we have Panther spirit, reclaim your power. So this is really deeply about tapping into this Venusian energy. And did you guys know that when you tap into Venus energy, you're actually tapping into your abundance too? So you can magnetize and attract more on a financial level as well. So Panther spirit, reclaim your power. And this is an I Ching card. And we have number 51. So I'm going to look this one up because I think there's 64 different combinations. So let me have a look in the little book so to make sure I'm getting this correct. And with 51, this represents, it's called Chen, which is also about shock. So it is above thunder and below thunder. So it says thunder upon thunder, laughter follows a shock. And if you're in Melbourne yesterday, you would have had a lot of thunder like we did with the storm. So this is a great boom of thunder. It brings a shock of fright, but the next boom brings laughter. The sound is terrifying but harmless. It serves to arouse the people to full wakefulness, so in which they can see humor in their own fear. As the thunder rolls out, rites and ceremonies continue without interruption. Thus, the wise person maintains inner calm when the weather and they can weather any shock. So having a look at this in regards to your Venus sign, it could be looking at like where you've been maybe perhaps too much in your softness or too much in this beautiful, loving, giving, nurturing energy. And perhaps it means that you need to set a few little boundaries too. So it is being able to not take yourself too serious, to be able to maybe reflect and laugh on the situation of where you've perhaps let your boundaries get edged in a little bit further. Let's get some tarot cards and see what we have with this. I'm just going to move our little Venus sign out the way. We'll keep our little druzy. So let's have a look what message we have for you guys that are to tap in and channel and find out more about your Venus sign. It could be messages around getting out a paintbrush, dancing to some music, really like embodying and embracing that aspect of your soul. Okay, so we have 4 cards for you guys this week. Let's have a feel into this and see what comes up. So I'm getting the word highlight, and I'm seeing a lot of gold come into this. So there may even be some of you that have Venus in a sign that is quite a spiritual aspect. You may even have some stellium energy, or you may even have some other signs or houses that's accentuating Venus tapped into spirituality. So I am specifically getting a message for some of you guys around this. So it could be, how can you flow that Venus energy and tap it in to reach more into the spiritual realms? And that could be also why we have this little druzy quote. So let's flip these cards over. And we have Queen of Wands. If we're talking about a spiritual queen, she showed up in our deck today. And we have the 10 of Cups. So if we are talking about love and we're talking about tapping in to feminine energy, we have this here, but we see that it's breaking outside of the box. So perhaps doing something in a way that you normally wouldn't do. An 8 of Disc energy, which is Virgo and the Sun. So we see here, this is really, there's so much more to be gained on an abundance level when you tap into your Venus sign. So that is the message that we have for you guys. Let me just tap in and see. They want some tarot cards from the Star Tarot. So we have King of Wands. So I'm talking to the masculine and feminine people in our soul family here. We also have Two of Cups. So this could be looking into partnership and having a look at like if your Venus sign is compatible with your partner's. And if it's perhaps like a little bit misaligned, having a look at how you could enhance or bring better communication between the two signs. It is lovely when you have a matching Venus sign. Myself and a few other people I know have matching Venus signs to their partner too. So we do have a 10 of Swords energy, and we also see a Four of Wands, which is a spiritual alignment, spiritual marriage. So this just talks into what I was saying. So with this 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords, this is really looking at how we can utilize Venus energy for better enhanced communication and how we can use it to align us closer to our partners too. So really beautiful message with that. Let me just clarify with one more spread of tarot. And we have the Mythos deck with all the gods and goddesses. And I'm just picking from here. And let's see. So we have a Four of Swords, the Devil card. We have the Four of Coins, and we have the Knight of Swords. So what we're seeing, this is meditation and deep spiritual alignment. This is also sometimes where we need to hibernate, we need to reflect. And with the Devil card, this can sometimes be about watching for someone that might be a little bit more magnetic, a little bit more alluring or glamorous. So it could actually be representing the magnetic attraction for when we tap into our Venus sign. Of course, we would not be using this for ill intent or bad things, but we would be meditating and aligning to how we can really run this magnetism. The Devil card also in Hebrew has a glyph associated with it called a yin. So it is about using your throat chakra. It is about voice. If you do have Taurus energy, Taurus is also governed by Venus. This is about your throat. This is quite often we see really famous, amazing singers have Taurus as their placement. Now, this could be in one of the top three, your sun, moon, or your rising. But I am seeing here how this is using like your gifts, your power, your magnetism. Four of Coins is the card of power. It is Capricorn and sun energy. So how can we utilize, how can we bring more of this into foundation? So I love also not only doing this through voice and dance with Venus, but also through the way that we dress. So having a look, there's so many videos on TikTok, how to dress for your Venus sign, and on YouTube. They're a lot of fun. See if it resonates with you guys. I find a combination sometimes of Venus and Sun can be really good. So we also have the Knight of Swords. So with this, I just feel that this is seeking more information, seeing if it applies to you. A Four of Coins as well also represents where we have a castle energy or a foundation. So I do feel it is more about like understanding who you are. It is also about like empathically shielding, protecting. And Four of Coins, it really is stability. So definitely have a look at what you and your partner have going on. If you have a partner, have a look at how this Venus energy is running for you. And I want to pick you guys a little affirmation card. Let's have a look. I feel like the Frida deck is calling tonight. I'm going to pop these away. And let's see. This one is the Inspired by Frida deck by Akal Pritman. And the card that we have is this beautiful one. So here's the gorgeous picture, and it says, "You are special, so be special. Decide to specialize in something for your creative success." So again, we're getting another message around creativity, around maybe channeling that specialty energy. And it's interesting because depending on where your Venus placement is, it can also represent how you take care of others. So let me know how this resonated with you. And I can't wait to hear. For those of you wanting a personal one-on-one reading, I have a couple of spots open. If you were wanting something a little bit sooner, you might be able to grab one for perhaps next week. And please use the discount code Jupiter to get 10% off. And I look forward to going in depth with you guys. So let's have a look into card pile number 2, which had our celestial crystal. Let me just shuffle this one. So we see the Mary Magdalene deck, and with the Celestial crystals are also similar to what we had with the spirit quartz in terms of it enables us to be able to tap more into the spirit world, tap into higher realms. What we see with this beautiful Celestial is they are self-repairing. It is one of my favorites, so you will see me drawn to picking this quite often. If they do perhaps get like a little crack, they will cry and weep salt and they repair quite fast. So they are a really beautiful crystal. So perhaps it's looking into self-healing, into nurturing, into how you can make contact with your higher self. So we have MC. So Midhaven is what you guys have been drawn to. So this really is that star in the high point placed above when you're born. So it is that starlight that shines bright over the top of you. So this reveals your aspirations, your ambitions, how you're perceived in a public space. So again, please let me know what your Midhaven is. This is also situated in your 10th house of legacy. It's also linked to your professional path, your career, your goals. It's also about the image that you project out into the world. So sometimes we can be mistaken for our midhaven. So mine is in Pisces, and this also represents where I'm bringing that spirituality, teaching about psychic gifts and abilities and things like that out into the world, and talking about things disclosure based that have been hidden as well. So please let me know where your midhaven is. That would be fascinating to see. And the first card that we have with the Magdalene deck is the Loom, and it says, weave your fate. So when we're talking about Midhaven and about how the stars are weaving in the sky, this is going to help you to understand more about your destiny, your fate, why it is that you're here. So I do feel the cards are also pointing us towards that. So I don't look at the cards beforehand. What I did do, though, was to put the little symbols down. So we have attracted cards that are also radiating and messages around that. So this is also connecting with your ancestors too, because we know that a lot of like who we are on a soul level is weaved in from the fabric of who came before us. So let's have a look into this one. And the next one we have with the spirit animal deck is parrot spirit. So watch your words. So with this midhaven energy too, it's not often with this that we will sort of like be more outright and forthright like we would with sun energy. So with this, I really do feel, have a look into what it is with your midhaven energy that you're here to do in terms of like your professional path, your goals and career. Have a look at like how you speak to yourself around this. Are you in a position of where you really, really want to be doing something, but then you may be perhaps talking yourself out about around something? To me, parrot spirit is also talking about parroting, or not quite copying, but if we find someone that we love, like what they do, and you're aligned to that on a soul level, or perhaps you see someone who's a role model in a career path that you would like, this could possibly recommend or look into modeling around that. So it might be perhaps like modeling a little bit of the way that they speak, the way that they hold themselves, whatever it is that stands out that you love about people in your certain chosen area or profession. Have a look at how you could perhaps utilize some of that energy or some of those dynamics that you like. So the next card that we have is number 17 in the I Ching. So I'm going to have a look at this. And I know there's a few of you in our community that like the I Ching. So that's why I thought I would choose this, because we haven't used this deck in a while. So this one is called Sui, or Su, and it's about following. So it says the above is the lake and below thunder. So thunder in the middle and the lake. So it's action suspended. People who are coerced into cooperation will ultimately resist. They obtain enthusiastic followers. One must adapt to the prevailing need of the time. Act thoughtfully and in a proper context. Success is likely if one's actions are worthy, but following should not be expected until those conditions are met. Okay, and that's all that they had written in that. So it does seem as well to really tap into your intuition with this midhaven energy. Let's get some tarot and see if we can expand on this a little bit. And I do feel with this little celestial, it's also bridging between worlds. So, what is it that this hidden nature reveals around you? How is it that you can show up in this way in the world? And have a look into different areas of life and how you're perhaps showing up as your midhaven. You might not even realize it until you have a look into your chart, because it is more hidden. So we have 6 cards here. Let me feel into these. So one message that I'm getting, and we don't have this symbol in the card, but I keep hearing spirit say whale spirit. So when we look into the image of what a whale can represent, and what's interesting, in my other deck, a whale is associated with 6 of swords, which represents something that's hidden. It is also known as a card of science, a card of journeying. But for me, it's about tapping into the veil, or tapping into our soul energy that exists. And I'm getting a high pitch as we're talking about this. This could be why they're triggering me with the whale image, because sometimes spirit will use messages conveyed as images for us to translate and decode. So let's flip over. So we have a ten of wands, which is a card of oppression. It's Saturn and Sagittarius energy. We have the 6 of cups, which is Scorpio and Sun. We also have the Sun. So there may be things that have held us back or perhaps suppressed us in different past lives. It's time to bring these skills and gifts that perhaps have been hidden to the forefront. So Knight of Cups, delivering them to humanity, and we see it shamanically. So this is quite a spiritual energy we have with the midhaven. And we also see a 5 of a 5 of disc. So there may have been some of you that are bringing forth midhaven energy with things that feel quite natural to you. So we have a lot of healers and a lot of mystics in our beautiful soul group. Let me know if this is you and speaking to you. But we'll get some more cards from the Star Tarot. So I do feel some of you are actually just tapping in and channeling some of the things that you've done. We often will see this in the South Node too, in astrology. But I feel this is what you were on a soul level here to birth and to bring forward. So some of you might be having this a little bit oppressed, or you might be a bit of afraid to take the leap. This is more to do with worrying about what others think. And we see here the 5 of disc is the card of worry. And I just saw 4 2s on my screen. So 2 2 2 2. If you guys have had that come up, let me know. So 3 of wands and the Queen of Wands, followed by the Hierophant, the Ace of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. You guys are definitely meant to bring this beautiful spiritual energy and channeled part of yourself down into the physical and to shine this. Ace of Cups energy is when the aura is fully activated, fully radiant, and King of Pentacles, there may even be financial success that comes from really like running your midhaven energy. So let me know if you are working in alignment with your midhaven energy, with your chosen career. These other ones, the Mythios deck, I'm getting to flip over. So death, again, I'm getting things to do with past life. We see a 7 of swords. So I would be checking into if there is any fears or anything else like that that might be preventing you from stepping into midhaven energy. We have Page of Coins, 7 of Cups, and we have the 2 of Cups, and they want one more, this one. The Lovers. I was going to say, I was sensing a little bit of love, romance energy coming from some past life stuff for a few of you guys as well. And then we have the 2 of Cups followed by the Lovers. So really interesting energies, how we see partnership weave in here, because we had it in the card pile number 1 too. So I would say understanding and seeing your midhaven might also be knowing what you're drawn to. So say, for example, a lot of the time when we meet people or we attract a partner, it will be through doing something that we love. So with your midhaven, it will really draw you in and show you and spotlight different communities and different groups or different things that you're interested in. So for me, spirituality being a big one with the Pisces energy. So yeah, have a look into your midheaven energy. A few of you may potentially have had a partner come up that's connected with this. And a few of you may have partners that are coming in as well around this. So let me just see if there's anything else Spirit wants to mention. Six of Cups energy. We had that come up before too. So we are seeing that there is some past life energy. So tap into the gifts and skills that you had in a different lifetime. And I definitely am a living example of this in that some of my beautiful old teachers in natural medicine, when they found out that I was clairvoyant, did do a few little tests and things. And some of the other people in the class were like, how come she gets to have gifts and abilities? And they said, because she worked really hard in a past life for them. So it's not that in certain situations you have to restudy, re-immerse yourself and relearn all over again. We do sometimes get to bring in our skills and gifts that we're going to use in this lifetime and have everything sort of switched on. So I do feel to look into that. Let me know if that resonates for you guys as well. Really interesting looking into this message tonight. I'm enjoying having a look and mixing a little bit of the astrology signs that Spirit was giving me around this. So let's have a look at one of the Frida cards for you. Just pop these away. And we're going to pick a little Frida card that will give us a bit of an affirmation to work with. I'm just shuffling these back in. Okay, pop these ones away. So don't forget, if you are after an in-depth personal reading, please use the discount code Jupiter to get 10% off. And I would love to read and investigate some of this further, as well as answer any other questions that you have. Oh, a few cards trying to jump back out. So let's have a look into the Frida card for you guys tonight and see what it is that we have. So we have Amor, so love. And the card says, you are an infinite being defined through the impact of your creative spirit in motion. So you are infinity being defined through the impact of creative spirit in motion. I'm going to read that one more time to let it sink in. So you are infinity being defined through the impact of your creative spirit in motion. So please let me know which one you picked. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. So if you picked card pile number 3, we have my gorgeous amethyst point for you. And so this is about dream work. This is about connecting in with astral and deep things that are happening in other worlds, other realms. It's also a crystal that connects us to some of the higher senses, to spirituality. It's also a stone of protection. And in the old days, this was actually, people wore this around their neck or in little pendants and things. And it might be something that they wore into a pub or a bar. So it was said to help with alcoholism and preventing you from getting drunk. So a cute little old-fashioned, old world thing that it was used for. So let's have a look into the Magdalene card. And we have the sign of Lilith. So my little hand-drawn version of Lilith. So it does look like a cross with a moon on it, in case you can't tell as much from my picture. So with this is really, it's the point in your birth chart that really talks about your hidden personality. Did you guys see that fly past then? It also talks about sometimes areas of us that have been rejected or things that we've had to kind of hold or put a veil over. So sometimes this is the part of us that we tone down. It's the part of us that sometimes will have had criticism in earlier childhood. And it does also involve like a darker sexual energy with this as well. So it's often referred to as like your shadow or your hidden side. It's the thing or the part of us that society says is like forbidden and unacceptable. So what better sign to look into to have some fun this week with all our 3 zodiac signs that Spirit was guiding me towards. So we see here Dolmen des Fares or Fares. I might not be pronouncing that right. It is not in English. Anyway, this is about silence. So, really meditating on, and we see there's a moon crescent type shape in this as well. So, having a look and a reflect into where you have moon, black moon Lilith in your chart. Mine is in the fifth house with Pluto, Mars, and I think it's Libra energy. There's like quite a few things I have going on in the fifth house with Black Moon Lilith. So it makes for an interesting life. Let me know where you have Black Moon Lilith and where she is in your chart. So the next card that we have is the card of Sandpiper Spirit, Be Playful. So this is actually channeling and tapping into your Black Moon Lilith energy, having a look at like what it says about you. So I know with me, when I'm really running this Black Moon Lilith energy, did you guys just see like a feather or something fall from the sky? I don't know if that fell behind me. Yeah, freaky, hey? But it says be playful. We just literally had spirit being playful as we're saying that. So for me, channeling my Black Moon Lilith is about bringing through the belly dance energy. So have a look at what area you can tap in and really bring that hidden shadow side. We're all about exploring the shadow with starting to understand and gain more wisdom into who it is that we are, having a look at how certain things can be suppressed or how we can be made to feel for not running those energies. Or when we did do it, what was the reaction that came from it? So we have the card I Ching number 2. So let's have a look into this. And this is called Kun or Kun, and it says the repetitive. So we have above earth and below earth. So earth upon earth, devotion brings wholeness. So this is actually interesting because we're talking about the hidden or the shadow side and wholeness. So there is time to lead and time to let others lead. Devotion is the graceful application of service to something worthy. As a mare willingly carries a kind rider over the earth, her strength and nobility are not taken from her. So it is with humans when they allow themselves to be wisely guided rather than acting on their own initiative. So maybe perhaps having a look at how you can channel and bring through a bit of your Black Moon Lilith energy. So this can also sometimes be a point of channeling and bringing through abundance and finance as well. And let's have a look into tarot and see what comes up. Whoops, you guys see them jump out of my hands eagerly? Looking over my poor little baby dolphin. I felt like we needed some dolphin energy. And also, if you guys haven't checked out the interview that I did with Dr. Jonathan Reed last Friday, I highly recommend it. We did actually talk about dolphin DNA in one of the ETs that we talked about. So let's have a look and see what comes up for you guys with the Black Moon Lilith energy and what Spirit wants us to know around this. Okay, so I'm going to feel into these. So I definitely feel a little bit of shadow energy coming forth. I feel Kundalini energy, and I feel it's about working out inner magic, out inner kind of like prowess, magnetic, deeper, darker sexual energy, and bringing that to the surface. So you might want to channel and put that into a piece of clay that you're working with. You might want to channel and put that into maybe a dance piece. Having a look on where your placement is. Let me know in the comments below where you have your Black Moon Lilith. We see the Hermit. We see the Seven of Disc, which is sometimes things that are hidden. So with this, it does also represent failure. So it's almost this hermit coming out of the cave, experiencing perhaps feeling shut down. And then we're seeing Ace of Disc, which is give it another chance. And then we have the Star card and we have Seven of Wands. So it doesn't mean that you're going to stop people, talking about things or whispering or, saying that this is forbidden to sort of act in a certain way. But this is about channeling your star energy. It's another aspect of who you are on a deep soul level, and it's a point of inspiration. It's also a point in bringing hope into the world. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise and suppress that. So let's get a card from the Star Tarot and see what we have. And I've got some dragon's blood incense. Wish you guys could smell it. It smells beautiful. Burning in the background. Oh, and they want one more. So let's have a look what we have. We have a 5 of Wands. So we do see more kind of that suppression or too many people telling us what we should be or shouldn't be doing. We've got Queen of Wands. I think we've actually had her come out for each of the 3 card picks. So for all of you overall, this is about standing in your power. But Queen of Cups, it's really about birthing things onto our earth and into our realm. 8 of Wands is sometimes where we're so confused and conflicted by other people's concept of what it is that we should be doing, that we almost are self-imprisoned from other people's thoughts. So with this 8 of Wands, it's about breaking free. I love this for you guys. And 2 of Wands, this is really looking at, how down here on earth, things are viewed pretty much as good or bad, light or shadow. So having a look at how you can break free from the paradigm operating outside of this matrix. I love this message. So definitely running Queen of Wands, fearlessness. I love that. And we have, let me flip these over. Wow, the Lovers has come up. And love energy for each and every single 1, 2, and 3 pick of cards. So Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands, the Fool, and the Lovers. So what we're seeing with this is you might actually get divine inspiration. You might be channeling and pulling things in from the spiritual ether and from as I started to tap into that Kundalini energy and getting excited, my feed just dropped out. The internet, I just kicked it out for a second, as I do when I get excited. But yeah, Ace of Wands, we're channeling this energy coming in from source. And I do feel there's a sexual energy that comes with this too, into 2 of Wands. So we are actually starting a brand new beginning. We're really not fitting into the paradigm. So a few of you might attract some admirers. You might step into this magnetism. With the Fool card, you guys will hear me talk about Alice in Wonderland energy with this. So it's really stepping into like that childlike wonderment, everything is new energy where we have an appetite. And with Alice in Wonderland, her archetype is she can't be told. So she has to actually pick things up to taste them, to put them in the mouth. She's very tactile, very sensual, very has to learn things on her own terms. And the Lover's card as well. So it does look like you guys will be pulling in more in terms of attraction. I love that. So let's have a look for a Frida card and see what we have. I'll pop these aside. So if you are wanting to go deeper and get a one-on-one personal reading from me, please use the discount code Jupiter to save 10%. And I would love to look in and see what's coming up for you guys at the moment. So with the Frida card that we have today, it is this lovely one. And the message is, go to the depth of your heart, speak with who you are, and know yourself intimately. This is such a message from Black Moon Lilith. So go to the depth of your heart, speak with who you are, and know yourself intimately. So getting to know your shadow side, getting to know what it is that you might be suppressing or hiding. I hope you guys love this. I love doing this reading for you. Please give me some love in the comments with some emojis and let me know what signs came up for you. And I'll just bring this up. And I will also see you on Mason Jupiter in a few days. So I'm going to be doing I think it's the Divine Feminine show. So I can't wait to see you all there. And I have a really exciting show that will be on psionic powers on Friday. So we're going to be talking in X-Men style gifts and abilities and talking a little bit perhaps and how you can find out what yours is, how you can activate and tap into it. So can't wait to see you on that show on Friday. Have a beautiful